I'm Ronnie. All the good names are taken. 31 days, day 11, Boz, our second week of Zombie Wednesday. And today we're talking The Video Dead. How's it going?
It's going good. Glad I am pumped that you wanted me to watch this movie. I've never heard of this movie. I'm glad you brought it to my attention.
I'm always infatuated by VHS art on the boxes. And I remember this being some really cool VHS art in the video store, but I never remember actually renting this movie. I think I saw this movie for the first time 3 or 4 years ago during the audio podcast. Me and Blake, or either myself by myself, whatever. I'm pretty sure we reviewed it then, because as I got into watching this, I remembered, a lot of it. And at the same time, I didn't remember it being this awful. This movie could have been a lot cooler than it actually was. This movie is about a possessed TV that gets delivered. That's all the sense I can make out of it. Boz, can you give a plot any better than that makes more sense? Because I can't.
The TV is possessed. And for a second, I thought it was like a VHS tape was possessed that was playing. It's one of those combo sets,
Yeah.
That was not it.
You had to have money back in the day to have one of those.
You did. And this TV was not it. It was one of those old school TVs that looked like it weighed 100 pounds. It gets delivered to this house, which I don't think is ever explained. Just delivered to this guy's house. And basically the entire movie is about, I believe it was a Nightmare Blood zombie. Is that the name of the movie playing? Something like that?
Something like that.
Well, that movie starts playing. And when that movie starts, this happens 2 or 3 times throughout the movie. When that movie starts, the zombies in that movie come out of the TV. And that is who attacks in this movie. Just brilliant writing here. I mean, you can't get much better. All right, I got a question for you. This TV, I'm guessing, 27 inches maybe?
Yeah.
How much is this TV in 1987?
Oh, great question. I think this is at least a $150 TV, $200 TV.
Wow, that expensive.
Yeah, I would say
you could have said anything, and I really don't know.
Back to the actual plot of the movie. It's not a bad idea, because the TV is always playing a zombie movie that looks like George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. And the zombies in the black and white movie actually look pretty cool. And then they come out of the TV. And then that's when things stop making sense, because it goes off the rails.
I've got a good here on our good list. The zombies in the movie movie that is playing on the TV look really good. That movie looks really good. Yes. You're right. It looks like an old school 60s zombie movie.
And my good, Boz, this is the 3 words I put down. The zombies look good.
Yeah, they do.
They look really good.
They look better in the TV set, but even in the real world, they didn't look bad at all. They really didn't.
That one's got the blood constantly dripping. Now, I do have some questions about these zombies, because in my world, zombies eat human flesh and brains and can infect you. And in my world, zombies don't pop up out of a washing machine as a surprise kill to kill somebody. Incredible. And they don't laugh. But I mean,
they laugh the whole time. The entire movie, they're laughing. Every time they did anything. It's like they've never done anything in it, which I guess, if you think about it, a zombie really hasn't done anything. But these people, these zombies, everything that they experience in this real world, they're not making any noises either. They're just like shaking.
The TV gets delivered by this Hi-Fi Moving, or whatever it is, Highlight Moving van. And these 2 guys deliver this crate to this guy that looks like an out-of-work bum. We later find out he's a famous writer in the neighborhood. And they're like, here is your delivery. And it's a freaking box that looks like it was boarded up by 2x4s. And he goes, I haven't ordered anything in 6 months besides pizza. And they're like, look, take it. He tries to bum a cigarette off of him, which is great because he just woke up. And that one guy's like, I'm a chewer, and he spits. So
spits right there on his front porch area.
we find out when he opens it up, it's a TV. And he plugs it in and he turns it to the one channel that's got the zombie movie on it. And then he turns it off and goes back to typing. And then we get to see the TV Supernatural. It cuts on. So he goes back in there and cuts it back off and unplugs it. Then it cuts back on. He goes to bed. Zombies come out of the TV. Obviously, The Ring stole from Video Dead. The zombies come out of the TV, go up the stairs, and they kill him. The next day, the moving people are back because they realize after arguing with this man, they realize they delivered the TV to the wrong address. I promise I'm getting to a point, Boz. They open the door and the man is standing there dead.
Yeah.
But the zombies put a party hat on him for some reason.
Yeah. And a cigarette in his hand. I mean, why is he not a zombie?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he came out of the TV?
Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. Once you got killed, you got sucked into that TV, into that show, into that
You're
world.
in the story then. You're like in that movie. And then you can come in through the TV, I guess.
Like I said, there was a interesting story here, but they were all over the place. And immediately we jumped to another story. 2 young kids have moved into this house. We don't know how long it's been.
It's 3 months.
Oh, they just say 3 months. Okay,
Yeah,
there you go. You paid attention. I didn't. So these 2 kids, Jeff and
Zoe. It's like ZOE or something like that.
Jeff and Zoe, whose parents are in Saudi Arabia, absentee parents, bought a house, told their kids to move there. They're moved in. So you know something's going to happen, but where's the TV? We find out it's upstairs. Okay. But before we go any further, Zoe is in college. What is her major, Boz?
I'm going to fail this part of the test. I have no clue.
Aerobics.
Did she say that?
She said, my major is aerobics because her brother Jeff looked at her like she just farted in church. He was like, you dumb.
The cinematography in this movie is, look, all right, if I'm the actor, if I'm Jeff, okay? This is how close the camera is to these people when they're acting, and they're always looking this way. Zoe, what are you doing on the floor? And then it goes to her. I think I'm doing aerobics. Like, what are we doing with this camera work? It's just, I don't understand it. And the zombies are even like that too. And I don't know, the editing. I guess I'm just I understand the budget on this thing is. That's another thing. What is the budget of this movie?
I don't know, but I don't think
I looked it up and I couldn't find it.
I don't think it's as low as we think it is. I think they might have had actually had a little bit of money behind it because you've got the special effect. Well, I say special effects. All they did was stick the damn TV on the ground and then stick an arm through it. It don't, as far as special effects, it's not that horrible, but you're absolutely right. The shots of the actual actors make it look like it was filmed with a freaking potato.
It's like a commercial or something. It was just cheesy. And like the sound was awful. And you know, I know like a lot of people watch a movie and the first thing they think of is how does it look? What are the effects? How's the lighting? The sound design of this movie, I don't even know if you call it design, whatever, is horrific. I mean, I kept hearing noises like sound effect things that made no sense for that particular scene. It's like, did they drop this at the wrong scene? At the very beginning, when that guy's snoring in his bed, I thought there were zombies in his room.
I did
like
too.
His snoring, like I don't know what that was. So it's very confusing right off the bat. That's the tone it set the rest of the movie.
I think the most disturbing thing for me was, you know, we're introduced to April, the next door neighbor, and you think she's going to be the love interest to Jeff. And then you find out when Jeff calls her house, they have a maid, like a Hispanic maid that answers, hello, you know, and then you find out that's not a maid, or
That's
either
her mom.
or either the dad married the maid.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here. So maybe the wife got arrested for DUI or ran off with Johnny Sins edit, and and he married the maid.
Who has one of the weirdest deaths of all time. Let's talk about
Can we talk about that? Can
of
we
the
talk-
maid and the or maid slash mom. I don't know what's happening with this zombie. Has one of the slowest, like all right, I don't even remember how the scene started. Somehow she gets woken up out of bed. She goes downstairs. She sees the bride, which is like
Yes.
the leader almost of these zombies. And she sees her in the kitchen laughing, doing her little shaking thing. And she turns, sees her. This dude with a big forehead, zombie guy, pops up behind her, grabs her in the throat, and then they do this thing down the hallway.
Yes.
A slow, it's like they're dancing, or I don't know if he's trying to choke her. I don't really
No.
know what he's trying to do.
Boz.
Why is it taking so long?
I've seen my dad do this to my mom when I was a kid. He was definitely choking her. The scene went 10 minutes. He chokes her. She reaches for a knitting needle. So you're assuming she's going to stab him in the brain and kill him. But no, she
They don't
drops,
even show what happens with the needles.
she drops it. Then she
Oh.
reaches, 5 minutes later, she reaches for the iron. And you're like, okay, now she's going to brain him with the iron. She actually does, but it doesn't hurt him. And he finishes choking her to the ground. And like I said, my dad would not be impressed with that technique. He would have had the person unconscious in under 30 seconds.
Took way too long. How about that iron though? Stuck like half of it is in this guy's head. Is it because he's a zombie it went through so easily? Or does
maybe
she
that's the
have
reason
an
he-
incredible force behind that?
I think that's why he had that huge forehead prosthetic on it so they could do that. And he became Ironhead Zombie
Iron
the
Head.
rest of the movie. Can we talk about how the brother Jeff is introduced walking like a zombie? We're supposed to assume a zombie's coming up in the house after Zoe when she gets there.
Yeah.
And why is he dragging his foot?
I want to give a shout out to Jeff. He's the highlight of this movie. He's kind of the star from like I guess 20 minutes on to the end of it.
To before 10 minutes of it. Yeah, you think he's the main character, and then they throw the swerve at you at the end of it.
They do, but he wasn't bad. I'm not sure he played in anything else the rest of his life.
I
But
would hope not.
you know, hey, to me he was the only redeeming quality of this movie. His sister was not good. Shout out to April, she was not bad either. I really thought April and Jeff were going to be in it for the end. Like they were going to be the couple that made it, right?
Jeff also dressed like Emilio Estevez from the movie Wisdom. So I was like, that brought back memories of that movie. You've never seen that movie, have you?
I haven't. Not.
you need to
I
watch
feel like I've seen most of his movies, but not that one.
Boz is talking about Jeff, the brother. And he sort of takes control of the movie after he brings the TV down from the attic. But before he brings the TV down from the attic, he answers the door of a random cowboy / Southern guy who said he's looking for a possessed TV. It didn't really make a lot of sense that then Jeff finds the TV and then gets from the ghost.
Oh yeah.
Gets from the ghost that's in the TV.
Yep.
And then the ghost goes back in the TV,
Laughs at him.
laughs at him and says, "You want my number?" And then I think we're introduced to the coolest character in the movie who runs in, slices her throat, shows Jeff what she really looks like. Now Jeff is talking to the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm the garbage man because I dispose of human garbage." And we never see this wonderful human being again. And he tells Jeff, he goes, "Take a mirror, strap it to the front of the TV." And the movie would have ended. Obviously, at the beginning of the movie, when the writer gets killed, all of these zombies come out of the TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they wander into the forest behind the houses.
Yep.
Because they're all out there. Why didn't they attack the neighborhood before 3 months? Shouldn't they have wiped out the neighborhood like immediately? Why did they wait so long?
This is the unanswerable questions that I'm not sure we'll ever get answers to.
And
Great point. Great point, though. 3 months, 90 days they were out there. Or do they just evaporate once they kill the person that turns the TV on?
I mean, if that was the case, they would have had to come back out of the TV when Jeff turned the TV back on, and they didn't. They were just out in
didn't
the
come out.
woods.
Great point. They didn't come out of the
Yeah.
TV.
And how many different types of evil, horrible people are inside that TV?
Or is
Because
this the multiverse of zombie movies?
that woman that came out and seduced Jeff, she went back in. She obviously could have killed him. What's the story there? What's the garbage man story? Did he get trapped in the TV and he's there trying to eliminate all evil? Is the TV like a portal from hell and this guy's stuck in hell and he's trying to rid hell of all the demons and protect people? I mean, I had so many questions.
A lot of questions.
Why did it take 3 months for the zombies to wander back down and kill everybody in the neighborhood?
Were they waiting for somebody to move back into the house? Is there anything to do with this house? Does this house have
But they killed
what's the point of
everybody.
this house?
The house was the last place they went.
And we should tell the viewers, if this ever happens to them, invite the zombies in. Because they actually don't know how to react to being nice to them and being accepting of them.
The ending of
That's
this movie,
how Zoe gets them in the end.
ending of this movie is bananas. There's so many. It's like an onion that somebody out of their ass. It's so many layers to this ending. First off, the girl, next door neighbor April, her parents get killed. Dad, maid, edit. They're all dead. So they move her in. Then the cowboy shows back up, and you think he's got this great plan to rid them, and he argues with the kids for 30 minutes. First off, this movie is entirely too long. It's 30 minutes too long.
You're right. It is.
The plan is to wait till morning, cover the front of the house with mirrors. This is after Zoe watches the David Bowie zombie kidnap April and take her out. All she does is shut the door. They leave April to die. They put mirrors all over the front of the house. They wait till morning. Him and the cowboy go out into the wilderness to hunt these people.
Yeah.
Because the cowboy lets him know that you can either stop them with a mirror or you can kill them and convince them they're dead.
Convince them they're dead. He gets a couple of them, though. Bow and arrow. Robin Hood style. Shout out Jeff.
Jeff also uses a chainsaw because we find out his favorite movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wow, what a line. I've seen it 6 times.
First off, we haven't even talked about the fact that the cowboy hangs Jeff from a rope and uses him as bait
As bait.
to lure in the zombies. Then he falls asleep while the guy's hanging up there.
This guy's grade A right here.
They kill all the zombies except the bride zombie, which, boss, who gets buried in a wedding dress?
I'd like to think that that's happened before.
What scenario?
I'm getting choked up thinking about this movie. Losing my voice.
What scenario are you getting buried in a wedding dress?
We didn't talk about this. She kills April's mom and dad. Sticks April's mom in the washer dryer that she came out of. Legs are just straight up, just going around. It's like a cartoon. At this point, I paused the movie and I thought, I don't know why I'm going to finish this movie. I'm doing it for Ronnie. That is literally the only reason I finished the movie.
I felt bad for asking you to watch this movie once we got to certain parts that I'm sitting there questioning myself. And I'm like, in my world of horror, zombies just walk in and attack you. They don't have to hide in a washing machine that was obviously turned on because the woman went in there to change the clothes out of it. The most realistic part of this movie is when April goes upstairs and she brushes her teeth and blood starts coming out of her mouth. I was like, hey, every time I brush my teeth, my mouth bleeds too.
Yeah.
The cowboy shoes off the zombie in the wedding dress, which I thought was a clever move. Instead of just attacking the zombie in the wedding dress when she turned her back to walk off because he showed her what she looked like in the mirror, That was been a perfect opportunity to jump on her back and wrestle away the chainsaw from her. Instead, he went with the plan of just shooing her off like a dog, and later she come out of the bushes and stabbed him through the heart, which is almost as good as Jeff's plan, which is to run at the bride zombie with her holding a chainsaw and chop her head off, and in the meantime impale himself.
Yeah, what is he
chainsaw.
doing there? What is he doing there?
Dying.
I mean,
He's dying.
I feel like he was that close to getting away with it. And no, he just runs straight at her. Just no regard of anything.
The rest of the
And they
movie,
both die together.
the rest of the movie is bananas. That's the best way I can describe it. Zoe is left alone. The zombies wander up, and like Boz says, she invites them in. They all sit down at the table and eat like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She invites them down into the basement to listen to a record, and she shuts the door that has a mirror on it, trapping them in the basement, which was the Cowboys' other way to kill them.
Yep.
Trap them. I'm not even sure that was the Cowboys' way. I think that was the garbage man's way. He said you either got to trap them or you got to something like that. I don't know.
And then we get a 30-second to 40-second barrage of noises coming from the basement. Not sure what's going on. Are they killing themselves? What's happening down there?
They're dying because they're trapped.
That makes sense.
It does. And then at the end, the absentee parents show back up, and she's in a mental institution or a hospital, whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like Scream 4. We ended at Scream 4.
I'm glad you compared this movie to Scream 4 is the most amazing part of this review. So the parents are walking up, pulling what Ronnie would do. This ain't my fault. I was a good parent in Saudi Arabia. The kids
in another country.
The kids have already said, "Oh, our parents are moving back now that we're grown up. We don't need them." And they go in there, and she's gone.
Yeah,
she's crazy. And then the orderlies roll in the TV and turn it on, the possessed TV.
Yeah, the parents say, "We brought something that we thought would make you happy," or I don't know how they worded it, but it was something to do with that. They roll it in. And she's not even freaking out about it. She just stares. She's staring at the TV till it turns on. And the classic movie that we've witnessed scenes of throughout this movie, I don't know, is this the main zombie? Is this the leader of them? He turns, stares at the screen, basically staring at her, and then it just cuts to black.
It was awful. And that's day 11.
This is listen real quick. This is are we rating movies here like 1 through 10?
Originally, this was supposed to be a good, bad, and ugly, but I do think this movie warrants a rating. I think we changed since we're not going to do good, bad, and ugly, and obviously the ugliest person in this movie was Garbage Man. Let's go with a rating, Boz. I'm going to let you go first.
I believe this is a top 10 zombie movie of all time. Having said that, I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 10. A 1, I think I've said this on other reviews we've done. A 1 is a movie I will not finish. That movie I did not see the end of that movie. So this is a 2.5. There were thoughts of shutting this one down early, but I moved on. We went on.
I'm going to go with a 3.2. And I'll tell you, Harper always asks, why do you give it a 3.2? Cool looking zombies. Some cool deaths. Like when they sawed the zombie up, I thought that was pretty cool. The Garbage Man was cool. And the idea, if they took somebody that wasn't an idiot and they let them come up with the plot of this movie, like Christopher Nolan, you give Christopher Nolan this sentence: TV shows up with zombies that can come out of it. Make a movie. Christopher Nolan will make an Oscar winner. But if you give it to somebody like Carrot Top, you get the Video Dead. Hit us in the comments. What did you think about the Video Dead? Give us your good, bad, and ugly of the Video Dead. Give us your rating for the Video Dead. We're 11 days into October, and I'm already almost to the breaking point of this. Luckily, next Wednesday, Boz, we've got a little bit better of a zombie movie. So get ready for that.
Oh, we got some good movies coming. You're going to look, day 11, we got 20 days left. We got some good ones here. We're in the dog days of October right now, but we're going to get through it here.
Guys, enjoy October. October's great. I mean, if there's one thing I know about YouTube, and there's one thing I know about zombie. If there's one thing I know about horror fans on YouTube, they wait for October all year long. And we're in October. We're 11 days in. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, support the channel on Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. You don't have to. Comment down below, and we'll see you guys next time.